Let me tell you something that's going to save your relationship and your sanity. You feel it happening, don't you? The shift, the distance, the way she used to light up when you walked in the room, and now she barely looks up from her phone. The way her responses got shorter. The way she's always busy when you want to spend time together. You're watching her slip away, and everything you're doing to pull her back is pushing her further. Here's what most men do when they sense her interest fading. They panic. They start doing more. More texts, more calls, more flowers, more attention, more everything. They think the solution to her pulling away is to get closer. They believe that if they just show her how much they care, if they just prove their devotion, she'll remember why she fell for them in the first place. That's the biggest mistake you can make, because the reason she's losing interest isn't because you're not doing enough. It's because you're doing too much. You've become predictable, you've become safe, you've become the man who's always there, always available, always waiting for her to decide what she wants to do with you. And safe men don't create desire, they create comfort. And comfort, brother, is the enemy of attraction. Here's the trick that will turn everything around, and it's so simple it'll shock you. Stop chasing, not just physically, but energetically. Stop being available every time she calls. Stop responding to her texts immediately. Stop cancelling your plans when she suddenly becomes free. Stop orbiting her emotions and start focusing on your own life. I'm not talking about playing games. I'm talking about reclaiming your center, because somewhere along the way, you made her the center of your universe, and she felt it. Women can sense when a man has nothing else going on. They can feel when you're sitting around waiting for their attention. And that energy, that desperate availability, it kills attraction faster than anything else. The man she fell for in the beginning wasn't checking his phone every 5 minutes hoping for her text. He had a life, he had interests, he had purpose. He was busy building something, and she got to be part of that world. But now she is your world, and that's why she's running. Women don't want to be your everything. They want to be part of your something. They want to feel like they're joining a life that's already full, not filling an empty void. Because when you make her your whole world, you put pressure on her to be perfect, to fulfill all your needs, to be your source of happiness. And that's exhausting. So here's what you do. You pull back, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. You remember who you were before she came along. You remember the goals you had, the friends you neglected, the hobbies you abandoned. You start rebuilding that man. When she texts you, you don't respond immediately anymore. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you're actually doing something with your life. You're at the gym, you're working on your business, you're out with friends, you're living. And something magical happens when you do this. The space you create doesn't just give you room to breathe, it gives her room to miss you. Because right now, she can't miss what's always there. She can't appreciate what she never has to worry about losing. Most men think that if they're not constantly reminding her of their presence, she'll forget about them. But the opposite is true. When you're always there, you become background noise. When you pull back, you become a song she can't get out of her head. Here's what she's thinking when you're always available. He has nothing else going on. He's just waiting for me to give him attention. That's kind of sad. But when you start pulling back, when you start having a life outside of her, she starts thinking, wait, what is he doing? Why isn't he texting me back immediately? What's more important than me right now? And that curiosity, that wondering, that's where attraction lives. Attraction isn't born in certainty. It's born in mystery. It's born when she has to work a little bit to get your attention, when your time becomes valuable because it's not unlimited. But here's the crucial part. You can't do this as a manipulation tactic. You can't pull back while secretly hoping she'll chase you, because she'll sense that desperation underneath. She'll feel that you're still orbiting her, just from a distance. And it won't work. You have to genuinely reclaim your life. You have to actually become the man who has better things to do than sit around wondering if she's interested. You have to fall back in love with yourself, with your goals, with your purpose. When you do this authentically, when you truly start living for yourself again, the energy shift is undeniable. You stop being needy and start being needed. You stop being desperate and start being desired. Because desperate energy repels, but centered energy attracts. She'll notice the change immediately, the way you carry yourself differently, the way you're not hanging on her every word anymore, the way you seem genuinely unbothered by her mood swings and games, the way you've become unpredictable again. And unpredictability is magnetic. When she knows exactly how you'll react to everything, when she can predict your every move, you become boring. But when you start responding differently, when you become a mystery again, she has to pay attention. Here's what starts happening when you implement this correctly. She starts reaching out more. Not because you're pulling away, but because she's not sure where she stands with you anymore. The power dynamic shifts. Instead of you trying to get her attention, she starts trying to get yours. She'll test you. She'll throw little fits to see if you'll come running back to the old patterns. She'll create drama to see if you'll react the way you used to. Don't take the bait. Stay centered. Stay focused on your life. Let her feel the new boundaries you've created. Because boundaries aren't walls. They're not meant to keep her out. They're meant to show her how to treat you. When you stop accepting crumbs of attention, when you stop being grateful for whatever she gives you, when you start expecting the same energy you give, she has to step up or step out. And if she steps out, good, because that means she was never really invested anyway. She was just enjoying the comfort of having someone always available, always ready to drop everything for her. That's not love, that's convenience. But most of the time, when you make this shift authentically, she doesn't step out, she steps up, because she realizes what she's about to lose. She remembers why she was attracted to you in the first place. She sees the man she fell for emerging again, the man who had his own life, the man who was going somewhere, the man who made her feel lucky to be chosen, not like she was doing him a favor by being there. This isn't about withholding love or affection. This is about loving yourself enough to not lose yourself in someone else. This is about understanding that the best thing you can bring to any relationship is a whole person, not a half person looking for someone else to complete them. When you become complete on your own, when you're genuinely happy and fulfilled whether she's there or not, that's when you become irresistible, because there's nothing more attractive than a person who doesn't need you but chooses you anyway. Stop trying to convince her to be interested. Start being interesting. Stop trying to prove your worth. Start knowing your worth. Stop chasing her attention. Start commanding her respect. The moment you stop making her the center of your universe and start making yourself the center of your universe, everything changes. She goes from taking you for granted to treasuring your presence, from expecting your attention to earning it, from controlling the dynamic to responding to it. Remember this, you can't lose someone who truly wants to be with you, and you can't keep someone who doesn't. So stop exhausting yourself trying to hold on to someone who's already decided to leave emotionally. Give her the space to choose you freely. Give yourself the respect to be chosen freely. And if she doesn't choose you when you're at your best, when you're centered and strong and living your purpose, then she was never your person anyway. The right woman will never lose interest in a man who's genuinely building something with his life. She'll want to be part of that building. She'll want to support that vision. She'll want to grow alongside that man. So stop shrinking yourself to keep her comfortable. Stop making yourself smaller to make her feel bigger. Start taking up space again. Start being the man she fell for. Start being the man you were meant to be. That's the trick. It's not a trick at all. It's just becoming who you really are again. And who you really are is more than enough.